Dave Bautista puts Disney in a tricky situation, and I have a solution. Sort of. My name is Tom. I also complain about my job on late night talk shows, and this is Tom's Take. Hey there guys, Tom here. Welcome back to another episode of Tom's Take. Before we get into today's video, if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell so you and your friends never miss out on my take on all things movies. So the Dave Bautista versus Disney situation is still ongoing. This thing has moved from being about James Gunn to being about Dave Bautista. Now, Dave Bautista was recently on a late night talk show, I think it was the Jonathan Ross show, to which he was asked about the situation, and he said that he doesn't think he wants to work for Disney anymore. Now, this is nothing new. We knew that Dave Bautista had this opinion because a month ago he sent out those tweets saying he found it nauseating to work for a company who, you know, empowers cyber Nazis and all this stuff. And I made videos on that. You can go and check those out. I will leave a link to my 2 videos discussing this situation in the description below. But today I wanted to touch on more the position that Dave Bautista has now put Disney as a company in, because it's a very, very tricky situation. Now, he has asked to be released from his contract. He's basically begging Disney to release him from his contract because he's still contracted to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So if Disney makes him turn up and show up to do the movie, he has to show up and do the movie. So here's the situation he's put Disney in at the moment. He wants to be released from his contract, and if Disney lets him out of his contract, that could set a precedent to which if any actor working for Disney doesn't want to work for Disney anymore and wants to get out of their contract, it basically sends the message that says, hey, you guys want to get out of your contract? Just bitch about us on Twitter. Just go on TV and tell them how you don't want to work for us anymore and we'll let you out of your contract. And they got to be very careful about not setting that precedent, because if you set that precedent, you could be in trouble. Now, the other side of it is if Disney makes Dave Bautista show up and do Guardians of the Galaxy 3, everybody knows that Dave Bautista doesn't want to be there. And it also could, you know, put a bit of a black mark on the movie, because you know Dave Bautista is going to get on Twitter during the filming of the movie. You know whenever he gets interviewed, he's going to talk about how he doesn't want to be on set and he hates his job and all this sort of stuff. And you know he's just going to keep talking about it, so it is going to cause a bit of shade on Guardians of the Galaxy 3 all the way through production and when the movie comes out. My biggest fear is the press junket, because what do you do? Because you know that people at those press junkets are gonna ask about the new director, whoever that ends up being. Please be Taika Waititi. So you know the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 are gonna be asked about this situation, and you know that Dave Bautista, we've seen it, he's just gonna be brutally honest and say what he thinks, even if it means trashing Disney. And you can't have that sort of thing hanging over your movie and your press junket. You don't want that to get out. Disney wants this thing to go away and die quickly. Now, yes, if Guardians of the Galaxy 3 goes ahead and Dave Bautista's talking about how he doesn't want to be there and he's complaining on Twitter and he's going on more late night talk shows saying he finds it nauseating to work for Disney, that's going to cause some shade on Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But I don't think it's going to cause Guardians of the Galaxy 3 to bomb at the box office. I don't think it's going to cause Guardians 3 to lose significant amounts of money. It might lose some money, like it might not make as much money as it would have otherwise, but I think it's a very, very small percentage. I don't even think it'll be anywhere close to even like, you know, maybe $1 million or $2 million. I think it'll be less than that. So here's the thing. Disney's kind of damned if they do and damned if they don't. If they do let Dave Bautista out of his contract, they're setting a precedent. And if they don't let Dave Bautista out of his contract, then, you know, they're running the risk of him and maybe some of the other cast members complaining all the way through production of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 right up until the release of the movie. So I think I have come up with a solution, sort of, because the sort of here is the press junket. The press junket, that's a big risk that Disney's going to have to take if they go ahead and making Guardians of the Galaxy 3. If I was the head of Disney, here's what I would do. I would go ahead with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I would make Dave Bautista and all the cast fulfill their contracts and do Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It might cause some shade. Dave Bautista might run his mouth, but the movie's coming out. Okay, So we're making Guardians of the Galaxy 3, you make Dave Bautista show up, you do the movie. Then when you do the movie, you wrap Guardians of the Galaxy 3 up in a nice little bow, just to finish out the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. And the good thing about Guardians of the Galaxy is they're in space. They're not on Earth, and especially they're not in New York. You know, if this was Robert Downey Jr. cracking up, you might have a bit more of a problem. It might be a bit harder to ignore because Tony Stark is so, you know, relevant on Earth and he's always around New York, and how many heroes does the MCU have based in New York City, all like a block from each other? But the Guardians are in space. You could do Guardians of the Galaxy 3, wrap it up in a way, ties the trilogy up in a nice little bow, and then just not have any more Guardians of the Galaxy show up anymore in the MCU. That would be my suggestion. Not kill anybody off, don't kill anyone off, because if you start killing people off, then you start, you know, maybe down the future, you know, Dave Bautista changes his mind, and maybe then you want to bring him back and do another Guardians movie. But you tie Guardians of the Galaxy 3 up in a nice little bow, nice little happy ending to the trilogy. There you go, your Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy is completed, and you take the blow from, you know, Dave Bautista talking on Twitter or talking at the press junket. Take the blow, finish the story, finish the trilogy. That would be my suggestion. Then you finish the trilogy, Dave Bautista and the cast have fulfilled their contracts as far as we know, and they're free to go and do other things, and it's releasing them all from their contracts at once because they fulfilled them, and you just don't have to re-sign them, and you don't set a precedent of saying, okay, well, we let that one guy out of his contract because he complained on Twitter, so now we're gonna let everyone else out of their contracts because they complained on Twitter. So anyway, guys, that will do it for this video, this episode of Tom's Take. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell so that you and your friends never miss out on my take on all things movies. My name is Tom. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will talk to you guys next time.